Did it say it was recording?
Yeah, it says a notification.
Awesome. Go baby. All right. Hey guys, this is your girl Diva D. You are now tuned in to the Diva D Show here at 92.6 The Spot WKBP Radio. And you guys already know the BPA for Black blood pressures for Black people. Well, I'm a little tongue-tied today because I'm excited. So listen, guys, I do have a special guest today, Mr. Unapologetic Theory, aka Mr. Shoki. He's here to bless our platform today. We have an amazing topic up and that we're going to discuss for you guys, you know, just to keep it all the way a buck. I promise you, you guys, especially for ladies, we always like to hear this type of stuff, especially when it comes from a male, a Black male's perspective. We really, really want to know. I think you may be the one today to kind of sort of change the narrative. I don't know. But we're going to see what you're going to say about this topic that we talking about, Shoki. But guys, Shoki has a platform. He is a podcaster like myself. He do have his own platform. Again, it's called Unapologetic Theory. He do describe it, his podcast, as barbershop style. So basically, he talks about everything from politics to entertainment. Oh, he can get real political. Trust me. Believe me, guys, y'all don't want that smoke because he's very conscious. You know what he's talking about, and he's that. Believe me, this ain't that, but this is this for him. But his podcast definitely gives you a feel of everything from urban to you don't talk about hip hop too sometimes. Like
we talk about everything.
Describe your platform. Okay.
It's like I said, barbershop style. Basically, he talks about everything, hot topics, stuff in the news, just regular talk that men have in forums amongst each other. But we do have women splashed into it, religious and political views. All the smoke, we with it. You know what I mean? Whatever's a hot topic, we talk about it. So that's pretty much it.
Awesome. And guys, you know, let me tell you, you can catch Unapologetic Theory. He has his own platform. Please please download the apps too, but you can catch him on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, iHeart, Google, and Spotify. Again, Unapologetic Theory. Please go download and support my friend. He has a lot to talk about. And believe me, guys, you are really going to be intrigued and engaged into what he has to say. Y'all already know the vibe with your girl here. Y'all know I'm in the streets, so catch me, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You know, right now, your girl done finally decided and figured out how to upload my live to my YouTube. So now, even when you guys miss my show on the radio, you can always go and go on over to YouTube, go to my page, The Diva Den, and you can definitely catch a recap and you catch me live with myself or with my guests, especially for this one that we're talking about today. You definitely want to tune into that. And don't forget my podcast. I'm still, rocking out on Anchor. I'm still rocking out on Spotify. I'm on season 3. So you have a lot of content, a lot of information, a lot of things that you can listen into. And I appreciate you guys for definitely supporting your girl. So with that being said, we already opened up the door, so we're going to keep it open so we can move forward. So the topic for today and why I had Shoki here to bless this platform, the topic for today is Black love, Black relationships, and Black marriages. The reason why I brought him on too, because, hey, Shoki married, got 20 years in strong, guys. 20 years in strong. That's a very, very long time to have a, forever lasting love. And he's going to give his point of view, his insight. And I'm curious to know, because like I said, I follow him on Instagram. I follow his life and his wife. They've always taken flight. Either they going solo dolo with each other, or they got kids. Every time I look, he's somewhere. They somewhere doing something. I think sometimes relationships and even in marriages, that's what kind of sort of keep the relationship kind of saucy. But, me right now, I'm in my own box. You know how I feel about love right now. I don't put it on pause. Maybe you can give me some hope. But yeah. So I want to first ask you, because like I said, it's really about me asking you a lot of questions. It's a Q&A pretty much segment, which we already spoke about. And ladies, believe me, he's very comfortable. He told me, said, D, ask me whatever. I want all the smoke. So you know me, we know each other, because believe me, guys, we talk off the phone. We talk on the phone anyway. I met him through an old mutual friend. So we have that connection, but he's very, very transparent and said, you know what, D, ask me whatever you want. But I wanted to respect, him overall and say, are you okay with this, that? He said he cool with it, so cool. So the first question I want to ask you, Shoki, please be honest. Do Black love still exist?
Yes, it does. It does. It's all around us. We just don't promote it as much. And I think, like I said before when we spoke on the phone, I believe it's advertised in the wrong ways, like you usually see, like single parents. But it's a whole bunch of people in love that are Black, man. I hang around. I got 3 of my travel partners are married. My little brother, My wife's best friend and her little brother is actually getting married in about
Oh,
3 weeks. And we hang out with each other. And mind you, it's different ages. It's like 40 plus, 30 plus, and 20 plus. So that's three married couples. And mind you this, they all been with each other between the 10 to 15 years, like high school love. So I'm surrounded by it.
so but is it safe to say, because see, y'all got years and years vested in it. See, y'all got relationships back when relationships were different. Because back then there was a time, and this is just my opinion, and this is from
Mm-hmm.
my experience. Oftentimes back in those days, relationships was more of a substance. Relationships were different. You know, Black men, to me at that time, their mindset was different. Everything was about family. Everything was about, you know, finding, you know, the right partner and the right woman, you know, to get with, to build with. You know, you guys had the mindset to be in the protector and the providing mode. And this is what you guys were into. But when you look at fast forward to this time, I can honestly say, like, for the last 15, 20 years, things have changed drastically. You know, when it comes to Black relationships, you know what it is? It's this saying that to get over one, you got to get under another one. You know, and then for me, yeah, it's just so unfortunate that, you know, I hear you and you saying the 20s, 30s, and 40s, and I'm not saying all, but
Yeah.
majority of the time when it comes to Black relationships, Black love, and Black marriages, it's like a fear. Everybody got that fear to take that next step, or people are just here right now, just
Understood. And like again, I really think that comes from the stigmatism. Like we all have people that are related to us or around us that we consider friends and family that come from single parent homes, that come from either daddy's not in the picture or grandma raised a kid. I came up like that. So the circumstances, they make it seem like it's almost impossible. But you got to get with somebody, and I say this on any level, straight, gay, whatever, that's like-minded. Someone that looks at life like you. And I believe a lot of times we don't do that. We fall for the physical. You know, that person that, damn, they sex may be great, they look good, but we already see the red flags. We dismiss them, and then we have babies by them, which creates the pathology that they say is, you know, present in the time. Like, you know, the love doesn't exist.
so basically, and I like the word pathologies. You know what? I learned that from Ayana Van Zant when I was kind of self-assessing myself years ago. And she talked about a lot of those different type of unfortunately, toxic pathologies that is passed down from generation to
Yeah.
generation to generation. You know, and then when you raising another child under that type of toxicity, what do you think is going to happen, and how they're going to execute that behavior out when they get older? Also, not having a father in the house, yeah, that can play a major role as well. But I do believe too, as an individual, as a Black man and as a Black woman, because it's not all the time about just the Black man, because I know there's some Black women that are damaged good too. I know some Black men or Black brothers that really was committed and wanted a relationship, but because she was so bruised and so broken, and she was coming from a background to where daddy wasn't home or mommy was out and about, she was kind of looking for him to fix her. So I understand the different dynamics that goes with the relationship, but what scares me as a middle-aged woman, you know, and just recently had the call of my engagement, because I had to do what I need to do at the end of the day. I was unapologetic about it, because when you go back and say like-minded, I thought somebody was like-minded like me. I thought that we were pretty much going for the same goals. I thought this is what it was. But then when you find out later on, like this ain't that, it's like, dude, like really? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's situations like that that kind of puts a lot of us, like myself. I know right now for me, I know I'm guarded. I'm guarded. Love don't live here. It don't. I don't want it. I don't want no part. I'm being as honest as possible. And I was the type of person, Shoki, at one time, I loved being in a relationship. I'm not talking situationship. I'm talking relationship.
Oh, yeah, I
I
get you.
love the fact, right, of having someone and being with someone, and we trying to build. The goal is to always build and take it to the next level. But it's so hard, or it's so complicated, or you seem to get, you know, oftentimes you meet them and they come under false pretense, pretending to be what you want. You know, they always, you know what it is? A man will ask you, so what type of man do you like? And a woman will sit there and break it down to the lowest common denominator. They will fit or feel that illusion or feel that mind, you know, of whatever it is that she's saying that she want. Then when she finally, but what it is that then when he got it to where, okay, she's gonna fall for him. Then when she fall head over heels for this person or these people, now here come the bullshit. And it's like, well, dude, you're not who you say you were, right? Go ahead. I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
It's the representation. That, like, when you meet somebody, it's always the representation. But I always have a saying: you got choice and you got chance. So when you are with somebody, I know a lot of women, and I always say this to people: if I'm on my A game, if I'm my best representation, my best foot forward, and I put my energy into the world in the dating pool, right? Yes, I'm gonna get some bad people. I'm gonna get a lot of bad batches, but I'm gonna get some good ones too. But it takes me to be willing and ready to receive that individual. And a lot of times we get in relationships and we're not ready. The person is not ready, or I'm not ready. And we kind of look into that person to repair something like daddy trauma. I'm not your dad, or mommy trauma. I don't want a mom. But we have, like I said, this route that we take. I look at your strengths and I go, ooh, yo, Diva's strong. She has a head on her shoulders. She has career. She's driven. I might be a little lazy. I might have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm gonna use her strength to try to better myself. And that's what people do in relationships that usually fail. We lean on a person with our weaknesses, but we're not supposed to do that. But that's another day, another subject. But again, in all chance and choices, I say it all the time. I like you, you like me, right? Let's date. Let's go through the trials and trips with each other. Hey, you know what? We don't have to live with each other instantly. We don't have to have a baby instantly. Let's build with each other.
Up just
I'm sorry. Just build with each other. Let's move and build with one another. Let's do stuff that makes us great. Like, we could talk about my life, right? That's why we're here. In the beginning with my wife, it was hard. I was a bit older than her, like 4 years. I had a child prior to meeting her. So I was out in the world dealing with a baby. She was like 20 years old, fresh out of like high school love, and I was a bit older, so I looked at life differently. So I had the patience to deal with somebody that was a bit younger than me and less experienced. Everybody don't have that patience. So I had to go through the trials with her, the growing pains, and she had her own parental issues. I had mine. And I had to look in myself and say, hey, is this woman worth going through the struggle with at the end of the tunnel? What reward do I get? Do we build each other up? Do we break each other down? But you have to have the mentality and the understanding to do that. And a lot of us don't have it. So yes, relationships are their trouble. It's a relationship. You got to relate to each other. And that's a hard thing. To me, you don't come off, and I'm speaking of you, you don't come off as a woman that's easily to be pushed over.
No,
so if your personality, you got to find that balance. You got to that fine eye, that sandpaper finish. You know what I'm saying? And then I got to bring balance to that. Whatever I'm good at, we'll work with that. We got to meet in the middle. And I think the biggest issues with Black people is we always think about that 100%. Oh, I got to be 100% and he has to be 100%. That's bullshit. I say it's 80-20, 60-40, 70-30, depending on the circumstances. And the dynamic is, I'm being honest, Black women make more money than Black men right now. And if you're a boss and you think independent, you're going to sit there and you can't castrate a man. And that's the fact of life. It's a balance that you have to find. I can't tell you what balance that makes your life work, but I can tell you the balance that makes mine rock. And we have to come in the middle at it as close as possible.
Right.
But you gotta take the shit and you gotta be willing to say.
But how often? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
I just said you gotta be able to take shit and be able to give it at the same time. It's a give and take thing. You're not gonna win every battle.
Absolutely. I think that from my experiences in relationships, because in my lifetime I've only had 5, right? Again,
5 relationships?
We're not talking about situationships.
Okay.
5. Only had 5, right? If I could think about out of those 5, I know there was one that I know that I messed up. I messed that up big time. I'm taking accountability.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How old were you when you messed up?
I was about 30, I would say between 32, 33.
So I
messed that up.
All right, so you were 33, right?
Yep, between 32, 33.
So in that relationship that you feel you messed up, was the person ready to be committed or serious and you weren't, or was something else?
But yes, he was, let me tell you, he was everything. First of all, he was a father of four, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was the provider, was the protector. Everything was Team Deidre, Team Deidre. And I think for me, coming out of an abusive relationship in my 20s and taking a break when I turned 30 and finally jumped back into a relationship at that time, I'm coming into a whole different era because I was with someone from 18 to 29. So I'm
I
jumping
got
now
it.
into this new world. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I'm finally, finding myself, healing, working on healing. Meet this amazing man. He was everything. But you know what it was? In my mind, it was greed because I knew I had him. I knew he wasn't going nowhere. I knew that he was going to take care of me. My family loved him. My family usually like anybody that I go out with. Like my father literally will take his side. My mother would literally, my sisters and him, he can go to my sister in the house and he's home. But you don't think about these things until you get older. But this is how the word accountability come in. Because what happened was after, and I'm not gonna lie, I cheated. I did a lot of shit. It was like whatever, I did a lot. But he said to me when we finally broke up, I never forget the words because me and him are still good friends to this day. He says to me, he says, I pray to God that you never have to feel the pain that you put me through. And all I can do was sit there stuck.
Yeah, because hurt
Nobody
people hurt
ever heard
people.
the story. So you getting the exclusive. Nobody, not even the men I was going out with ever heard the story. But I'm
Yeah,
being,
but
see the world, y'all getting a whole exclusive. But that's maturity. That's going with me being transparent and me telling my testimony, truthfully. But when he said that to me, I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever, And he said to me, whatever man, are you there? Because like you freezing.
yeah,
Okay.
I can hear
You
you.
can hear me?
Yeah.
So it's like every man that you go through in life after you go on with your life, he said, I want you to tell you something. It takes a certain type of man to handle you. It
But
takes a certain and he meant that in a good way. He didn't
yeah,
mean it in a bad way. He
but
said, you are different. Any man that wants to know you, you need to send them to me. I would never forget that. And I was like, what? Any man that wants to know anything about you or know you, they need to go through me. Because he told me, he said, I studied you like I studied a book.
yeah, you have to.
He was always spot on. Do you know I have never ever met a man like that yet? And I
But
think too, going
he
on
date
through life, say that again.
but again, he dated you. He watched you. When you date somebody, you A to
That's
Z them.
good.
We don't
That's
date.
good.
We don't date. We
He
don't get to
did.
know
He did.
anybody. He got to know you. When I was single, and me and my wife, present wife, we had off and on times. But I was great at dating people. I'm great at that. You know what?
Yes.
You don't want to be with me today?
Yes.
Fine. I'm gonna go over here, and while I'm over here, I'm a B, C, D, order whatever you want to get. And I know what type of woman I need for me. But he dated you,
Right.
and he
He
everything
did
he did was calculated. Trust me. And he said, you know what? She's hurt.
everything.
You were hurt,
Yep.
and hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
And he was cognitive to understand that. That's why he told you that.
Very cognitive. Very, very. It was just so, but you know what, Shoki, you don't think about these things because even after I nonchalantly took what he said, like, whatever, we broke up, I moved on in life and I jumped into another relationship. So after the more the story is that I believe for me, I looked for a him in all of them.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it. And in parts of me, as we went along the way, I was trying to get it because I have never had a man that was so attentive, that was so involved, that was so into me. Like this man went away to go get his children in Atlanta at one time and said to me, this is when I first got hired for Time Warner Cable. Back in, when was 9/11? So let's keep it 9/11 during this time. And he said, babe, I have to go down to Atlanta. I have to go get the kids. This man made sure that he left me a stack of money. He made sure that my bills were paid. Back then I had the flip phone. Remember the flip phone Sprint phone.
Yeah.
He paid that bill. He took me food shopping and must have put about $200 and something worth of groceries in my house. I say all that to say he made sure that I was taken care of.
Yeah.
He made it wasn't even so much a monetary. All of that played a part. He was the provider. He was the protector. And you know what? When I think about it in this lifetime, I said, you know what? I funked that up because I'm not going to find that anymore.
No,
nah,
but
I'm not going to
you
find
messed
that.
it up because you were
guys,
hurt. You were hurt.
They ain't about that.
You were hurt though.
Yeah.
If you weren't hurt, you would have been able to receive the blessing that you needed. You know what I'm saying? You were hurt.
Yeah.
So if he understood that, but look at it now, the hindsight, life goes in forward motion. There's no rewind. So you have to take that experience and live off it and try to find something that may be similar. Because now mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever you call it, you may be ready to receive it. But it's all on the person, man. That guy knew what it was. Now you know what it is. And guess what? You might do that to somebody.
He did.
Real, man.
Yeah. When I told him about my engagement, like I called off the engagement, he said, well, I already knew that he wasn't for you in the first place. And I was like, what? You know, and then my prior relationship to this one, which was kind of like a kind of bad, ugly breakup with my ex, like maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. And I used to call him talking about this. And he was like, D, you see the signs. You see that this man don't have you in his life the way that he should have you in his life. You see that this man, everything with him is, he just broke these men down. And I believe that once I got the memo and I saw it for what it was, it made it easier for me to say, let me throw up the deuces, because you know what? This ain't that. And my relationship, I invested almost 6 years. But I knew as time went on, this ain't that. Because my ex at the time when I was in my 30s, he was that man to sit at the table. He took leadership. All right, what we planning? You know, what's our next step? What's our next move? I followed his lead because to me, he was a leader. But like I said, I'm young. I'm buck wild, you know, so yeah.
Do you?
It was crazy. So let me
go ahead.
Please, by all means.
Do you think that the type of temperament of guy that you attract is the same type of guy that you're looking for? Like,
you know what I think it is? Someone. No, go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of people say, like, with me, or just I may have a particular type of woman that I feel that's good for me.
Right.
But it may not translate in the type of woman that I attract. So I'm asking you, the temperament of the guy that you want and the temperament of the guy you attract, are they the same?
Damn, I never even looked at it that way. You gotta let me think about that, Shoki. You always come in with that hot shit. I never looked at, you know what it is? Someone once told me that the reason why I attract the type of men that I attract is because I have a healing spirit. So I always tend to attract those that are broken. Even though they're gonna pretend in the beginning that they're there, you know, to build and to want to do it. But later on, it's like peeling an onion. Now you get to find out, boom, was married, boom, don't have good credit, boom, have multiple relationships, boom, compulsive liar. You get to all this shit start to unfold later on, then boom, don't want to build. To me, passing by. So I think maybe they use me as a test baby and let me just, because you know, when you're a real woman, I know I'm a real woman, and I know that my personality can be strong, but my bark is always bigger than my bite.
So, all right, I get it.
See, with my ex at the time, that didn't intimidate him. That didn't bother him. Because back then when I was in my 30s, he knew I was a pit bull in a skirt, but he knew how to tame my ass. And that shit turned me on.
I said, look what you just said. You said that you were a pit bull in the skirt and you were tamed. You were tamed.
But he did it. But he did it in such a way that I had no choice but to be submissive. Because he didn't do it in a dominant way.
Yeah, because he was a man. Yeah, I get you. But every man you meet is not programmed that way. Like, at a time of my life, I could be all for that. And then now I'm like, fuck out of here. If God forbid, I became single tomorrow, I would have to date a woman that lives in feminine energy. I do not have the time to fight with somebody to break that wall down for her to be a woman, a feminine woman. I ain't got time. I ain't in the swords fighting. So that shit is dismissed instantaneously. Not like, so no. But that's a fight. And I look at it this way. Your upbringing means a lot into how you conduct yourself in a relationship. If you came with brothers and had a hard upbringing, and yo, dude, you got that, you can have that wall. But everybody's not built to scale the wall or to sound the horn to bring down the walls of Jericho. However you want to slice it. So you got to look at that and understand as a man, like, wait a minute, hold on. She's a little bit rough around the edges. I ain't got time. So it depends on the person.
Right.
Yeah,
but
man.
You know what, too, in all fairness, and I'm going to get to that, I have to ask you, in all fairness, for me, when I self-assess myself, when it comes to me being a woman of the relationship, that's never a problem. I never was the type to try to go against or try to fight a man and try to, challenge his manliness, because I watched my mother and my father. You understand? At the end of the day, my father was the fucking man of the house, and my mother respected his position. So I never saw my mother even raise her voice to my father. I never seen my mother, right. So when it comes to, I'm gonna speak on behalf of me and my sisters, I always knew how to act like a woman. I always knew how to, when my man is hungry, feed him, or when he need me, be there. But at the same time, if my needs and my wants are not being met, then listen, we're not going to do that. I always had to wear the pants and the skirt in my relationships. I always had, except for just that one relationship with the guy I was with when I was 30. This is how I know that it wasn't right. Why am I doing too much? But again, it's about taking accountability. So I can only reflect back on the decisions that I made, the people that I had, and I'm not bitter. I'm not a bitter Black woman. I'm not so bruised and broken to where I'm like, forget these men. It's not about that. I have gotten to the age in my life where I'm like this. If I'm the next man in whatever life, it ain't gonna be no time soon, but the next man that come into my life, if he cannot do for me what I cannot do for myself, I don't want him. Now, when you a grown ass man, you're gonna understand what I just said, what it meant. If you're immature, what I just said went over your head because you're gonna take it somewhere else. You understand? So it's like, for me, this is this is my safe place. I'm very guarded. These men out here now, they're different, they're goofy, they don't have it together. And I'm not looking for perfection. What I'm trying to say is that I talk to guys now and I'm like, damn, the conversations are not even intriguing anymore. Brothers don't even want to sit down and try to court a woman to get to even know this woman. They talking about shit that don't even interest me. But I'm like, you always want them to ask about me. Ask about me. When you're interested in a person, male or female, you want to know about them. You want to know every conversation. I don't want to hear about no goddamn sports all the time. I don't want to hear about me and my mans and them. I don't want to hear all that. I'm a sapiosexual. You know what a sapiosexual is. I am turned on by intelligence because I know I'm a smart, intelligent Black woman. So I already know if you want to go with the dialogue and you want to go to back and forth with the diversity of talking about anything, I'm that. But also at the same time, in the beginning stages, get to learn me. And it's very far few in between that you find that. So for me, at this part in my life, and I'm sure a lot of women that's listening to this podcast or this show today are going to say, damn, sis, you spot on. I play it safe. Let me just stay guarded right now. Let me stay guarded, stay in my zone and focus on me. I ain't got time to focus on these women sons.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't. I don't have it to do.
Like I said, fix you, have you lined up, and then you'll find who meshes with you. It starts in the house, not outside.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's like, you know what, Deidre? Date all of them. You know what, Deidre? See all of them. Made a damn man. That's how that goes. And that's how I gotta line it up if I'm interested. You know what I'm saying? They date all them ninjas and see what it goes back again with the like-minded. See if they line up to your. You know what I mean? So with that being said, and thank you for sharing. I'm thinking, ask me whatever you want to ask me. The next question I want to ask you is, what keep a marriage together?
Traveling, communication, uh, understanding, and that's a hard part because women, your bodies change, and it was an inside joke that I was told years ago. Once you get married, the vagina dies. So you have to like learn to adapt to circumstances, kids, postpartum, stuff like that. And then we live in a time where, I don't know what floats everybody's sexual boat. Hey, listen, baby, maybe we need to open the relationship up. Maybe if your sex drive is low, let me find somebody that has my sexual appetite. Depends on the circumstances. I'm not saying that's what I do, but you have to be flexible. You have to be understanding, but it all comes with the communication part. You take vows, death do you part or whatever, but it's stuff that happens that's unforeseen. I'm real. I told my wife this. I said, yo, if something was to happen to me and I couldn't perform for you sexually ever again, I would not be hurt if you need to go get satisfied sexually. I'm just being honest. If you got to make decisions like that, that's real.
Right.
If something happened with her and she could never have sex again, but we still have the commitment to each other, to sickness and health. And I'll explain to her, listen, baby, I got needs. Hey, I need to go. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, I'll get a professional if it got to that point. But you have to communicate and have an understanding of what your shit is and what you don't want to do. If you don't do that, it creates anarchy. You know what I mean? But always I know it hurts. I tell my wife this all the time. I don't want to hurt you intentionally. I think men, typically, a real man does not set out to hurt his partner. But I'm a human, so I am flawed. I will hurt you doing some dumb shit. You know what I mean? But if I communicate with you and like, hey, listen, Deidre, at the end of the day, I have these needs. You can't do them. Maybe we can work something out, But, or you, vice versa, or whatever it is. You have to communicate. And I bet you in the end, that partner will respect you because you kept it honest with them. Maybe hurt, but you kept it honest with them. And that's all we do.
Now, how do you, okay. How do you maintain your marriage after 20 years of being a father, husband, friend, provider, protector, and able to keep your mental health intact with so many responsibilities and high expectations traditionally?
I've learned in the last 10 years, the more that you're not in the dirt, and what I mean by the dirt, we could use it as a metaphor. Like if me and you have an argument, we with each other, we live in the same house, right? We fester in whatever we're fighting about. It's hard to fester in the dirt when we're in Jamaica. It's hard to fight when we're at Jimmy Choo's or like Chow Young. Like you're going somewhere. Not saying that the problems are not there, but you're getting a different perspective. You're sitting in different environments and you have a time to reflect. It's hard to be mad watching the sun set on a beautiful beach. It's just beautiful. So if I get you in that mood and maybe you can get a different perspective, or if I'm the one who has the issue, maybe I get a different perspective because we're human. So when you constantly on go, like we always on go. I travel at least every 90 days. I got a trip coming up in 2 weeks. And I'm planning for a trip in August. So when you stay saying, hey baby, yo, you booked the flights? Hey, we going here on this date. Hey, you doing this? You doing that? Yo, we going here, we going this. You constantly on the move and it's like reinvigorating. It's energizing. And that's all you got to do. You got to keep it moving. You're going to have your problems, but at the same time, keep it moving. Don't fester. Don't sit in the dirt. Move. Get a different perspective. Talk to older people. Talk to younger people. Just broaden your horizons. That's what I'm saying. When you do that, it helps you reinvigorate your relationship.
Okay. And that also say that, executing those type of things in your relationship, that also help you as a Black man with your mental health.
Oh, hell yeah. Because again, when you get beat up by the world, and then you're going to get beat up when you get in the house. You got to find a balance of how much whippings you're going to take. You know what I mean? Sometimes I tell my wife, hey, you know what? Today, it's not today. You know what I mean?
Got you.
I'll see you later. Even when kind of like with my wife, she has PMS. So I know, all right, coming up. Let me chill. If I'm quick with the tongue, I slow the tongue down. You know what I mean? It's the balance.
Right.
I know this person because we dated. I know that she has a moody time.
Your phone goes.
Oh yeah, I hate Wi-Fi, but I know that she's moody, and I pick. I choose my battles, and I think that's another
Me
thing.
too. Right. So let me ask you this question. Now, what role do your wife play in the longevity of your marriage? All right. How do you think she keep it together mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically? How do you think? I know you can't speak for her. That's why I'm asking based on your observation of those things.
She's more of in the beginning, she was more of the combative, let's fight, right? And I think life goes in cycles. So she had her guards up, expecting to be punched. Now her guard is down. So now I got my guards up. We changed the roles.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Like I could say, hey, she say, damn, you quick to say something now. Because she fell back on saying something. That's what it goes to the balance, picking and choosing. So she knows when, like, we can have an argument, right? Historically, I feel that men, wrong or right, have to be the bigger people in the situation because we're not looking at everything emotionally based. We're more logically, right? So I go logically, hold on, how long this going to go on for? I know women everybody can hold grudges, but women can hold grudges. So me knowing that, I say, you know what, bite the bullet on it, and we'll visit this at a later time. Hey, you know what, babe? Even if I'm wrong, or she's right, or whatever have you, vice versa. You know what? I apologize, because I should have zigged when you were supposed to zag. You have to choose and pick when to be the bigger person for the grand scheme of things. And that's what we kind of got a balance of doing. So to answer your question, like we kind of traded roles, and she acknowledged this about a couple of months ago. She said, you know what? I noticed that you don't do this anymore. And I'm like, yeah, because you became so good at it. So why should I supersede what you're doing?
How cute is that? You guys are so cute. Now,
no, I can't stand her.
Mm-hmm.
We hate each other, but that's the love. I always tell people, marriage is not the beginning.
I love that.
Yeah, marriage is the beginning. It's not the end. Everybody thinks marriage is the end. It's the beginning. It's the beginning of a new life with somebody.
It's supposed to be, absolutely. Now, when you guys aren't in a good space, mad, arguing, not on the same page with certain things that cause a commotion, how do you cope and what do you do to bring it back together?
Humor and humbleness, H&H. So always, I think people that laugh at your jokes all the time, I'm not a comedian. That's how I feel men could read women better. If you're trying to get to know somebody and she's laughing at every joke you say, you're not no professional Kevin Hart or something. So she feels a certain way because she's looking at you beyond what the average woman may look at you at. So once I understood that, she's like, damn, she's laughing at all my jokes, even the stupid ones. So you look at little signs that tell you things. Stuff like that. And then again, being humble. Actually watching somebody, knowing their life, dating them, understanding traumas and struggles they've been through, and say, you know what, maybe this situation triggered something that happened to before I got involved with her. Maybe this situation is why she's acting this way because of X, Y, Z. That's why it all goes back to dating and actually A to Z in a person instead of A and then Z and having a baby and all that stuff. So when we do stuff like that, we may go a day, like say for instance, it'd be a stupid argument. I know that the argument is going to be resolved within 24/7, 2 hours or whatever. And 9 times out of 10, she'll be like, you know what, man, forget all that. I just want to be happy, want to have, whatever, let's do it. And that's all you got to do. But it takes you to be humbling. And sometimes, again, with the emotional part, women have to understand that men don't mind being vulnerable, but we have to be vulnerable in the right space. You have to understand that. I don't cry. I'm not vulnerable like I want to cry. Vulnerable like I'm going to share. Like, baby, I get beat up by the world. I'm a black man. And if a woman can't acknowledge that, the struggles you go through when you step out your doors, then it's gonna be hard to acknowledge the little stuff that happens in the house, and vice versa. I
Right. And
believe that.
take your vulnerability as a weakness as well. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Do you all right, so I asked you, all right, so do you two go to bed mad at each other? Do you let last night confrontation spill over into tomorrow?
No, you try not to, but realistically,
Okay.
how our work schedule set up, if I get an argument because I work at night, I piss her off Monday night, I might not see her till Wednesday. So sometimes it happens.
Oh,
Idealistically, you don't want it to happen, but that's just being real. Like,
right.
I go to work 4 nights a week. She's at work in the daytime. I did something to piss her off on Sunday. I don't see her till Wednesday morning. I may shoot little texts to text the temperature, but she still be mad. I say, yo, get over it. We be all right. You want a divorce? Like, it's a joke. Oh, you want out? You want out? I give you out right now.
Right.
But so it's like I said, humbleness and humility and humor, man. Just keep it. It keeps it spicy to a degree, and understanding who you with.
And finally, my last question, and thank you so much. You gave so much insight. I love it. My last
No
question
problem.
is, what advice would you give me and my women who decided to play it safe and stay away from relationships and love?
Whatever has you guarded, past experiences, take that as a bump in the road, right? And then look at it with hindsight because you experienced it, but also give men grace. And it's hard for women to actually think about giving a man grace. And I mean men in general, not the man that, you had the situation with. But if you don't give men
Right.
grace, you're going to continuously make the same mistakes. You have to look at it like, you know what? Hector was a scumbag, but Jamal might not be. But I'm dating Jamal unlike how I dated Hector. I got to know Hector. I
Right.
got to know Jamal in a different sight as in Hector. And I believe if Jamal is authentic, and I'm gonna just throw this in real quick. The thing with men with women that we do, when a woman is hurt, it's like blood in the water amongst sharks. And I'm not talking about just great whites. I'm talking about all sharks attracted to the blood in the water. But a great white that knows that you're easy prey is going to take advantage of it. So he's going to be the spook by the door. So I always say, try to be healed, man. Just I don't hold like, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel y'all got the game right now as far as sex and sexuality and TV and this, that, and the third. And it's so men are visual. Y'all have us on that aspect. So we got to get you mentally. We got to be like, yo, let me hit her with the left or the right. She don't see it coming, and then she drops her guard down.
Yep.
So that's why I believe like we stabbing each other for no reason. But that's, like I said, it's another topic. It starts systemically, it starts culturally, society-wise, and we have to show each other that love and that grace that we're not doing at a scale that we can be. Like if I have I don't want to throw her in it. I have a sister that has four kids, 3 different men, right? And I always told her that is hard to find a good dude. Not saying you don't deserve the good dude, but you're asking him to take on 4 different personalities and 4 different men. That's a lot. So you have to be at a apex woman to where this man is around and he don't got to deal with none of that. That's hard. That's almost impossible. So you're making it hard for potentially a good guy. And it happens with men too. We get the dirty women and then we get that good one and we'll just do her dirty. Because we're not ready to receive her goodness. Oh, she too available for me. She boring. But the one that's leaving you on red, that hits you up what she want. Hey, come over, baby. So we got to get that dynamic straightened out before anything gets fixed.
About men love a toxic chick.
Oh, yeah, because they got this, it's the sex. Y'all like it. It's a sex. The women that stand on their heads and all that. They say, hey, I got Keisha. She coming over. Oh, word? You running. But the little square woman, you overlook her. The one that's going to hold you down, cook your meal. Women do it too. That guy with the good D. You know what I mean? That's just a people fetish, man. We want to be pleased. And the one that got all the practice is the one that's going to blow your mind sexually, at least.
Okay. Well, I want to say this for the record. Thank you for sharing everything. I want everybody to know that if you hear this recording, yes, it's a little off key because both our Wi-Fi's are acting up. But the good news is that, you know what? We made it through, and there's always this trial and error. So you just move forward. So I don't want nobody texting me to my Deidre, I couldn't hear it, or Deidre, y'all was breaking out. We are totally aware. Right, Shoki? We know that the Wi-Fi is the beauty of being going to make it. We made it happen and we pulled it through. This was a very, very interesting topic. I thought it was necessary. You definitely shared so much insight. I'm sure for those that are listening, please take heed because like I said, Shoki is basically showing us that yes, Black love, Black relationships, and Black marriages still do exist. It's a matter of you finding the right partner, the right like-minded person. It is important for you guys to be on the same page. It is important for you guys to want the same thing. I want somebody that wants something more for me than I want for myself. I don't want to feel like I'm invisible. You know, I'm the type of woman, I love love. I do. I really do. I love the fact that I would love for a man to go above and beyond, to, you know, to put a smile on my face, to know what I like, to know what I need. And understand this too, guys. Me being a woman and saying things that I want and I need from a man, don't think by far that it won't be reciprocated. Because to me, if he understands the assignment, I'm going to understand the assignment. Okay. He's taking care. I can assure you, he ain't going to be a one of me for nothing. Because that's how I was raised. My mother didn't raise me and my sister and them to be, for one, to be a narcissist or to be someone that's trying to just get what we can get from somebody. You understand what I'm saying? It's not what you call an opportunist. You know, he's taking care of me, I'm taking care of him. But life to me, is bigger than just laying up having sex. It's bigger than just getting up, going out to dinner. It's so cliche. Like I said, I've never been on a plane. So maybe I may find a man and say, you know what, babe, check this out. I don't care about you being scared. If you read my shirt right here, it says fear's a thief. I don't already told fear, you don't get the win no more. So when that right man going to say, check this out, babe. I know you going on vacation this week. I put my vacation around the same week of yours. I bought 2 tickets. We taking flight. I got you. I trust you. Trust me. I wouldn't even tell you when you up there. Because when a woman trusts her man, and all right, well, that'd be fly too.
I'll be like,
that would be like, you know, it's always like that part.
I get cursed out all the time. Yo, where we going? Don't worry about it. Get in the car.
I love it. And see, that's what I mean by, that's why I said you a grown ass man. That's what I meant by, I want somebody that can do for me what I can't do for myself. Or somebody that don't mind taking the step to be the man. You know what I always say, are you the man of the house or are you the man in the house? Because I done had men in my house. Are you the man of the house? You know, I love that. I love for a man to take the initiative. And I'm not the only one. I'm speaking for a lot of women. Because I had a conversation with a lot of my people before we even talked about this here live. We like the fact that the man is taking the initiative or taking a step to say, yo, just pack a bag and let's go. Do you know what that shit do to him? Do you know how secure a woman feel like he took you? You don't even understand. You know, listen, all right, don't worry about it. We going to Florida. You never been on a plane? That type of shit. We love that. But everything is, I was going to ask you what you want to do. I'm over that. I don't want it no more. I don't want it. I'm good.
The most thing
until he can come and change that narrative, I'm dating all.
Hey, babe, listen. Take the 21st off.
Yes, I'm dating all of them. And guess what? Pandora box been locked. This month make a year. I ain't been touched in a year. I'm good. Wow. I promise. And let me tell you, they come in flocking like flies on shit. Ain't happening. Been there and done that. Ain't happening. So whatever you selling, I ain't buying, bro. Yep. You got to convince me otherwise. You know what my word is for now going forward with these ninjas? You want me, you gotta earn me. Earn me.
Understood.
And like I said, this is grown folk talk. So what I just said, if you know where I'm going with it, you already know. But if you mature, that's gonna fly over your head. You want me, earn me. And I'm gonna leave it at that, bro. But listen, I thank you. I know
You're
that
welcome.
you already know. We already made plans for me to be on your platform. Whenever you're ready, let me know. Thank you so much.
No problem.
For blessing. Guys, do not forget, please go to Unapologetic Podcast. Again, I'm going to repeat again. My brother is on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Trust me, please tune in. I promise you, you will not be you will not be upset. You're gonna love it. So thanks, Shoki. I'm gonna see. You know, I'll call you later, but we'll talk later. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, bye. Later.
Okay, later.
All right.
So hey guys, as you guys know, that was my man Shoki. Let me just say this real quickly before we close out. If you were not able to hear our podcast too much, you know, we were both using the Zoom. The Wi-Fi was kind of messed up and acting crazy or whatever. We pulled it through. But anyway, I want to thank him for that. So guys, before I close out, y'all already know I gotta do my hot topic. So listen, did you guys hear about in top news last week? There was a Georgia man accused of licking this child's feet at a trampoline park. He was arrested again out on bond. Now, mind you, he was out on bond because he was accused of licking a child's feet at a trampoline park. And now he was just recently arrested again. So check this out. In Augusta, Georgia, a former teacher's aide, he was a teacher's aide who was released on bond after he was accused of licking a boy's feet at a Georgia trampoline, was arrested again this Friday morning, according to the Augusta Press. Corey Rollins, 26, was first indicted in January after police said he asked the child to take off his socks at a Richmond County urban air trampoline park and then sucked on the child's toes. Okay. He was later accused of molesting 3 fourth-grade girls at the school where he worked, Glen Hill Elementary School. On April 11th, he was indicted on 7 more counts of child molestation. Now, peep this too. On Wednesday, police said he pulled up beside a 12-year-old boy playing basketball, showed him pictures of children's feet. He then asked the boy if his feet looked similar. When the boy said no, Roland asked him if he could see his feet according to this out. The child got scared, ran inside. He identified the man as Roland to his mom, who was aware of the previous case. So shout out to mom. Mom was already on the news, in the news, and watching what was going on in the world. Roland faces charges of criminal attempt of child molestation in latest case. The thing is, why was he even let out before? But anyway, lock his ass all the way up because we sick of these pedophiles. Update, guys, on Jamie Foxx health scare. So based on Good Morning America, on Monday morning, people close to actor Jamie Foxx gave an update on his mysterious hospitalization. A source told People magazine they were told that the race star, who was recovering in the hospital from an undisclosed medical emergency last month, is stable and not in a life-threatening situation. So we can stop the rumors with all this. We need to get ready because Jamie ready to go home and he's about to die. Jamie is just fine. The person also said doctors are doing more tests and want to be completely sure that he will be okay before allowing him to be discharged. The Oscar winner has been advised to keep his stress level down once he leaves the hospital. So like I said on my podcast before, our people, our Black and brown people, male and female, we are suffering in silence. Okay, sources do tell People that they want to make sure that he is perfectly stable when they do eventually release him. And Nigel Smith, a senior news editor at People. But unfortunately, we still don't know exactly when that will be. Okay, this update came from days after a message was posted on Fox Instagram account saying, "Appreciate the love, feeling blessed." That was exactly from Jamie Foxx himself. So before being hospitalized, the 55-year-old, we all know, was most recently seen filming in Atlanta with co-star Cameron Diaz at the set of Netflix upcoming film Back to Action. And let me do my birthday shout outs, baby. Big shout out, big heavily shout out to the Notorious B.I.G. who would have been 51 years old today. We know that he was born May 21st, 1972. He was taken from us March 9th, 1997. Biggie Smalls would have been 51 today. So happy heavenly birthday, Biggie. And big birthday shout out to Mr. T. We all know who Mr. T is. T boy, you know him with the bald head, right? He's an American actor. He is known for his roles as B.A. Baracus in the 1980s TV series. We all remember the 18. And remember he played the boxer Clubber Lang in the 1982 film Rocky II. Of course, he was born May 21st, 1952, age 70, residing in Chicago. So happy birthday, Mr. T. And big shout out to my sister, my blood sister. Big birthday shout out to my sister Natasha, aka Tata Licious, aka Big Booty. My sister turned 45 years old today. Wow, Ty. So Tasha is how she's celebrating her birthday. She's out in Texas with her daughter. They put the spotlight on my niece, y'all. My niece Natalia Williams, basketball star. She's killing it. She is out in Texas. She's playing at the Bryan, Texas Legend event located in Bryan, Texas. She's number 9 with the AAC Castle basketball team. Natalia is doing it big. Auntie is proud of you, baby. Natalia also plays for South Shore High School. Y'all know in Brooklyn. Whoever don't know South Shore High School is the school. They had the best damn cheerleading team when I was young. I wanted to get in that school. I couldn't get in it. But my niece Talia, she also played for the South Shore High School, number 21, here in Brooklyn at South Shore High School during regular season. Also, let me give a little bit about my niece's credentials at 17. So Natalia won the MVP for PSAL Barclays Center in 2021, scoring 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. What you know about that? She was recently player of the game at the Gym Rats tournament located in Albany, New York. So with that being said, guys, this closes out my show. I'm glad you all tuned in. I hope you had fun. Y'all all also remember, I'm going to repeat it again, follow your girl. Remember, I'm on 92.6 The Spot. Download the app. Remember, we are compatible with Apple and Android. You can find this podcast on iHeart, Amazon, Apple, Google, Deezer, Audible. Find me, The Diva Den, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and you guys already know that I don't already uploaded and know how to upload my videos on YouTube. Please go over there and support my YouTube. I need 50 people so I can start doing my video live. Also, guys, I have a new segment coming up, which is called Conversation with Family and Friends. This segment is going to be with me having conversations on my live with friends and families. We're going to pick a lot of topics. We're going to talk about everything from current events to news to politics to love to sex to butt nasty sex. We're going to talk about all that stuff. But anyway, I got a lineup for you guys. I want to say again, thank you for tuning in. Enjoy your Sunday. And y'all already know my 2 posts. First of all, do y'all feel my shirt? It says, "Fear is a thief. Fear do not get to win anymore." Again, I thank you, Shoki, Mr. AKA Mr. Unapologetic Theory, for blessing my platform. Thank you. You've even given me more insight on a lot of things. But like I said, I'm set in my ways, and there's always time for change. I'm guarded. I'm going to stay guarded. And like I always said, damn it, date all of them until one of them get it right, right? So good luck to them. But anyway, I want to say thank you again for tuning in, guys. Y'all know the vibe. Y'all know the vibe. Y'all know what I'm about to say. 2 things. Always, always protect your peace and always put yourself first. So with that being said, I want to say have a good day. Bye.